All right, y'all. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 10, episode 10. Cynthia and Candy, they meet up at dinner. Kenya was also supposed to meet up with them, but she couldn't make it for whatever reason. So Candy is asking Cynthia what was her opinion on the whole elephant room debacle. And Cynthia felt as though that it was a hot ass mess, but she was here for Kenya shutting Kim's ass down, and I was here for that shit too. So Cynthia, she's telling Candy how she's going to be doing an event for the people in Houston, that was in Hurricane Harvey. And she wants Candy to be there as well. Candy says that she can't make it, because she got stuff that she has to do with Riley over the weekend. And Candy is asking, Cynthia, she's going to be at Portia's event as well, because you guys remember last week Portia had brought it up in the elephant room that she would like all of them to, come to her event or whatever, and they all kind of looked at her like she was stupid, and Cynthia is saying, well, my event is on Friday, hers is on Saturday, so I kind of, left pretty much left the door open. So if she supports my event, then I'll support hers. And Candy thinks that if Cynthia would have been the one to initially brought it up, that everybody would have been with it. But because Portia brought it up, and everybody don't fuck with her, it was kind of weird. And I thought that was kind of messed up because granted, and you guys know, I understand why Candy doesn't fuck with her and everything, but at the same time, I do feel like with this situation is a bigger picture here. You know what I mean? We all know how it can be with these hurricanes and people losing everything and losing family members and friends during these hurricanes and stuff like that. So I feel like it's not about y'all. It's about doing something for a great cause and helping these people out and everything and pulling their community, helping them or helping to contribute them putting their communities back together or whatever. And so I just felt like that was kind of messed up or whatever. It doesn't matter who brought it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bigger picture here. Why does it matter whether Portia or Cynthia or whoever brought up the idea and everything? Like, but y'all know how it is with these women. So anyways, Cynthia gets a FaceTime call from Kenya. And she goes outside because she feels that she wouldn't be able to hear Kenya inside the restaurant. So Cynthia is telling her about her event and Portia's event. Kenya would like to make it because of the fact that she has family down there, but she says that she's not going to be able to make it and everything. And of course Cynthia was kind of bummed out about that. And Sheree and Nene, they're not going to be there either, so it's just going to be Cynthia, Portia, and Mal, and Portia's team or whatever. So Sheree gets a phone call from Jailbird Tyrone, and he kept on telling her to make sure she keep feeding herself and everything and not to skip any meals or whatever, because I guess he wants her to get some more ass and everything, and how he keeps on calling her butt chunky. And I was just like, okay, like like I was just like, whatever. But anyway, so her back is still messed up or whatever, and because of doctor's orders, that's why she's not going to be able to go to Portia's event and everything. So he's asking, like, how what's popping with with the girls or whatever. And Sheree tells about, she's telling him about, Nene's, elephant room debacle, and how Nene kind of ice skated over the fact that she said that they had an elephant and everything. And, like I told you guys last week, I don't know if she was trying to use Sheree as a decoy because she didn't want to seem like as if she was just singling Kim out when she called Sheree and Kim to let her know she wasn't going to be able to make it to their lunch. But at the same time, it's like, Nene, you did say you had an elephant specifically with her too. Like, you even said, in your confessional that, you didn't appreciate Sheree bringing Kim to your all white party event or whatever, because she wasn't invited. So, like, yeah, I don't know what that was about or whatever. And, Sheree is like the only thing that she could think of is, Candy telling her what Nene said about him and everything. And so, he's like, ain't Nene married and everything, this, that, and the third. And, Sheree is like, yeah. And, he's like, well, she might want to, be quiet or whatever before, I put some shit out there. And I was just like, oh, jailbird Tyrone, don't be making threats from the jail cell. Although I do kind of want to know what he got to say about her. You know what I'm saying? What skeletons or whatever he got to say about her. But yeah, so Sheree is saying she's not sure if Nene and Greg were separated at the time, but when Nene first met Tyrone, she was trying to pursue him and she was trying to get him to come on the Apprentice show when she was up there, and how she was always, trying to hang out with him, and Nene wasn't jailbird Tyrone's type, and so I didn't really see the point of all of this, because it's like, I mean, even if she did try to pursue him back then, obviously she was trying to pursue him before, he got in trouble with the law, with the FBI or whatever. So I didn't understand. I didn't understand what was the point of her, bringing up all of that and everything, because I feel like, had Nene and Tyrone really did start messing around or whatever, I kind of feel like, I don't feel like Nene would have, stuck around or whatever, when she found out that he got in trouble with the feds. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I didn't understand the point of her bringing up that or whatever. And it's like, I mean, shit, now you messing with him and he live from the jail cell. Okay, so whatever. um so anyways, then we have Candy, and she's teaching Riley how to drive and everything, and it's like, good for you, Riley, because shit, I still don't know how to drive. I'm about to be 23, y'all, and I still don't know how to drive. I do want to learn, but I am scared. I think I told you guys this before. I am kind of scared, but I do want to learn. I'm gonna overcome this fear. But anyway, so after they finish doing all of that or whatever, Riley's dad, Block, calls. And, he's at the hospital or whatever because he's about to have a new kid. He's actually about to have a baby boy or whatever. And, he's waiting for him to come. And, Candy is trying to, she's saying how she's, just trying to be supportive of Riley, getting to know her dad or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, Riley, y'all know how Riley do and everything. She's a tough cookie, and she just was kind of like giving one word answers and just kind of like, okay, real tight teeth, like how Candy be or whatever. She is her mama's child, okay? And she was just like, yeah, okay, cool, I guess, And so, after Candy hung up the phone and everything, she was like, why are you acting like that or whatever? So, Riley had said something, and Candy was like, well, don't get an attitude with me, Miss Missy. And, Riley is like, I'm not, I'm just saying. So they go into the house or whatever, and, Riley, she, just starts crying. And, Todd is asking, he's like, what's wrong and everything. And, Candy's like, I don't know. She just started crying or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, of course, they take the mics off and everything, and Candy is trying to, still figure out what's going on or whatever. And they even not showed, but we heard, little baby Ace was asking, Riley what was wrong and everything. He was like, Riley. I was like, oh. He don't want to see his big sister upset. Oh, but I did feel bad for Riley and everything. I'm not sure if the reason that she gave Candy was like the real reason. I think maybe it might be something more deeper than what she said, because Candy, she meets up with Block and everything, and she's telling Block that Riley cried when you called, and Riley's reasoning was because she just wants to be prepared before they have a conversation, instead of just popping, the phone call up on her like that or whatever. And I'm not sure if that's the full reason. I feel like it might be something deeper than that. But he just talks about them just being a great example or whatever for her or whatever, and them, co-parenting and get along. And she thinks that they need to go to counseling, and I think that would probably be a good idea to, get to the root of, the issue here and everything. So, and it's definitely good to see, all of them in a better space and everything, because, we know last year, yeah, I mean, it's a shame it had to take reality TV for Block to get up on his shit, but hey, it is what it is. So then we have, Portia and Cynthia's events or whatever. Actually, they're all in the car. Portia, Mal, and Lauren. They're in the car and everything, and they're actually in Houston. They're riding through the neighborhoods, and it just was, it was really sad to see just, everything just out on the street and just, messed up like that or whatever. But they go to one of the shelters that Portia's family, donated to and everything, and they're helping passing out stuff or whatever, clothes and toiletries and everything. And Shamia comes because earlier in the episode, and the episode actually has started out with Portia, trying to get things together or whatever, and Shamia calling her, wanted to come help because Shamia had saw something about it on social media, and so she wanted to come help in any way that she can, even though her and Portia haven't really spoken since Shamia's bridal shower and everything, and then they didn't really speak too much at Kenya's event. So Portia admits that it is kind of weird and everything, but she's glad that she's there to help out. So we get the actual first day of them being in Houston, and it's Cynthia's event, and Cynthia's pretty much doing like a benefit concert, so the proceeds can go to the survivors of Hurricane Harvey. So Portia is saying how she just wishes everybody was there or whatever. Cynthia's like, well, I mean, it's not about us, it's about the survivors. And Portia, she agrees, and that's why she's happy that Shamia is there, that they can set their issues aside to, help out. So, Cynthia, she talks about the love-hate relationship that she has with Portia, and, because Portia kind of does come off more as a taker than a giver. And we've kind of heard people say this, a couple of the other ladies in the group say this about Portia before, but, Portia, being out here and everything is showing a different side. So, Portia, she, her and, Lauren and, Shamia, they, leave or whatever. And as they leaving, who pops up? Miss Kenya Moore. I said, okay, bravo. So Kenya, she shows up and everything, and she just, I guess, she just wouldn't have felt right had she not, came and tried to support or whatever and do what she can, considering that she has family down there and everything. So, Shamia and Portia, they're in their hotel room and they're having a conversation, and, Portia feels as though, like she was hurt or whatever, because she feels as though Shamia kind of humiliated her in front of everybody at her bridal shower or whatever. And Shamia feels like we're best friends, we should have been had this conversation, and yeah, I should have, and she apologizes to Portia. She came off unsympathetic towards her condition and everything. And, she feel, Portia feels that Shamia showed out or whatever. And like I said, she felt embarrassed or whatever. So, Shamia apologizes for that too, and Portia apologizes because, well, Portia admits that she might have been in her feelings and everything, this, that, and the third. And I mean, yeah, I thought it was cool to see the makeup and everything. I will say, yeah, it was wrong of Shamia to just kind of bring all of that up in front of them like that. You know what I mean? Especially y'all supposed to be best friends or whatever. But at the same time, I'm still side-eyeing Portia about, not being able to come to the wedding or, whatever, because of her condition, and then, the tickets, and, but she willing to invest $10,000 into, her business, and this, that, and the third, but paying $10,000 to go to your best friend's event, but I mean your best friend's wedding, but okay, but yeah, so I'm still kind of side eyeing her a little bit on that, but like I said, it was cool for them to make up and everything. So then we have day two of them being in Houston, and Cynthia pretty much ditches Portia for Kenya because Kenya threw something together or whatever. She called one of the organizations that she knew down there to, put together an event and everything. And, Kenya's event is at 11, Portia's event is at 12. And, Portia is telling, Shamia to go to Kenya's event on her behalf or whatever. And Shamia is like, well, I mean, I remember you saying they don't support your stuff or whatever, this, that, and the third. And I mean, Portia is like, I mean, yeah, but it's cool and everything. I mean, this is all for a great cause or whatever. So, Portia and Kenya, they run into each other downstairs. They having a little chit chat about their events or whatever. And, then we have Portia's event and everything. And okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I was getting distracted trying to figure it out. But anyways, okay, yeah. So Portia at her event, they're giving away food and everything. And, Portia, she starts, getting emotional because they started running out of food or whatever because she didn't expect as many people to come, she didn't expect so many people to come and everything. And so the owner of the restaurant, he goes out to get more food or whatever. So Lauren is telling her not to worry and everything. And so, then we have, Kenya in the neighborhoods or whatever, and they're in somebody's house, I guess, tearing down the walls or whatever. And Cynthia, she's trying to offer some water, and Kenya's like, well, we'll take a water break after we knock these walls down or whatever. And I was cool with Kenya's ambition, to help out and get things done or whatever. But I mean, girl, you could have took a little, little sippy sip. You could have took a little break, the little breather and everything, But Shamia, she calls because she's there and everything, and she's trying to figure out where they're at or whatever. And Kenya was kind of being a little bit rude, maybe not on purpose, but well, actually, I don't think it was on purpose. Like I said, I think it was just Kenya's drive and everything to just help out and get things done. She was kind of being rude or whatever, Shamia's trying to ask where they are or whatever, and where they at. And Kenya is like, I mean, go ask the volunteers or whatever, bye or whatever. And I was just kind of like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? So Shamia finds them and everything, and she's talking about how Portia really wanted to be there, and how she got a donation for Kenya or whatever. And Kenya's like, oh yeah, well, we could talk about that later and everything. And Shamia was trying to have some type of conversation, and Kenya's like, more work, less talking. And I'm just like, well, damn, okay. Like, yeah, I probably would have kind of felt a type of way too, like, well, damn, bitch, we can't have a little side con, but like, we can't multitask and get this shit done and talk at the same time. Like, yeah, but anyways, later on that night, they all go out to have dinner. And they're talking about the success of both events, and Lauren says that they've been planning their event for 2 weeks, so it was kind of disappointing that Cynthia and Kenya didn't come and everything. And Cynthia has said something or whatever, and Lauren is like, but don't you want to support, who supports you? And I mean, I swear to y'all, every time Lauren was talking, they kind of looked at her like, bitch, who asked you to talk on our behalf? Like, this is, yeah, like, let's skip this conversation, okay? Like, we here for something good here. We don't need to bring up who came to whose event and, who was there and who was not. Like, it just, Yeah. I just felt like it was just kind of unnecessary, but you know, Cynthia, she lied through her teeth talking about some, well, I didn't know, she was saying, I guess, that she didn't know about the event or whatever. She just knew about when they went to the shelter. Like, she was just kind of leaving Saturday open or whatever, this, that, and the third. But they flashed back to when they was in the goddamn car or whatever. And, Cynthia was talking about both events. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was well aware of Portia's event as well. So, Portia is like, you got that text from Kenya, hey, big head or whatever, and you was gone. And so, they was laughing and everything. So, Shamia feels as though that Cynthia always has great vibes or whatever, but with Kenya is like a hit or miss. And Shamia just feels as though that she was kind of dismissed and everything. And Cynthia and Mal, they agree, like, yeah, Kenya could have been a little nicer or whatever. So Kenya, she comes in and everything. She's trying to get a bite to eat, but the kitchen is shut down because she was late. So Shamia, she talks about, the house or whatever, and pretty much Kenya's attitude, but she was saying it like in a joking way or whatever, and Kenya is like, well, don't take it personal, this, that, and the third. And so Shamia, she's like, okay, well, I just kind of felt like we were growing and everything, and, as Shamia is talking, excuse me, Kenya just kept on being rude or whatever. And so, Shamia continues, and she was saying that, Kenya was kind of being dismissive or whatever. And Kenya, she's all like in her confessional talking about this is about Houston. This is not about your feelings or whatever. And it's like, okay, but y'all done did y'all events or whatever. Y'all are out at dinner at this point. So I didn't understand why it was such an issue for Shamia to bring up, how she felt or whatever. Y'all wasn't doing anything at that point. Y'all weren't doing nothing but eating. Y'all had did what y'all came there for. So I didn't understand why it was an issue for Shamia to bring up how she felt or whatever. But, Portia, she's trying to explain Shamia's feelings or whatever, and Kenya feels as though it's not a good time to talk about it and everything. So then Cynthia, she kind of tries to chime in, because she's like, because I guess Cynthia probably in her mind feels, okay, well, I'm her friend, maybe she'll listen to me or whatever if it's coming from me. And Cynthia's like, well, people did kind of feel like you was being kind of rude or whatever. So Kenya, she's over it. She gets up, she, goes to the bathroom or whatever, and, she's calling them all kinds of bitches and everything and how they're idiots. And the producer is trying to tell her how they how people was feeling and everything. And Kenya is like, no, because every time I do something positive it turns into bullshit or whatever. And I was like, here we go back to victim Kenya, okay? And so like I said, she like fuck these hoes and all this other stuff, and that's why Mark doesn't want to be a part of this and everything. And I'm just like, what does he have to do with anything right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so Portia, she walks in the bathroom trying to talk to Kenya or whatever. And so Kenya is like, no, I'm not about to make a moment or whatever, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bitch, the only person that's making the moment is you. The only person that's creating the moment right now is you. Like, you was just doing way too much. You was too amped up for no reason off of people just expressing their feelings to you in a respective tone, a respective manner. I didn't understand why you just got so out of, so in your bag about it. You feel what I'm saying? So Cynthia tries to chase after her or whatever. And, Kenya keeps on saying, I'm not about to have a moment, right? Well, I'm not about to create a moment right now, this, that, and the third. And she rolls the window back up on Cynthia and she leaves. And I'm just like, you wasn't trying to create a moment, but you created a moment. Like, you was like on some Kim Zolciak type of shit. Y'all remember, what was it, season 5, when, Kim was pretty much done with the show and she walked out and Croy was on standby. Yeah, that's kind of sort of how I felt with the shit with Kenya. But that was the episode, you guys. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I'll see y'all in the next one.